If you can hear my dog snoring in this, please ignore it. I'm Cody Heuchert. This is my presentation. So I'm reading off a script. So if it sounds like I'm robotic, it's because I'm reading off a script. In this presentation, I'm examining the fictional world of the Breaking Bad series, season 1, episode 7, a no rough stuff type deal. Although Breaking Bad is set in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and uses real locations and references, it's still considered a fictional world. The characters and criminal networks portrayed in the show are created for storytelling rather than being direct representations of real individuals or situations. The series exaggerates reality in order to create tension, conflict, and also to keep the narrative moving. This episode is especially interesting because it shows several social systems working at the same time. On one hand, there is a middle-class suburban family setting built on principles such as stability and parenthood, but on the other hand, we see a violent underground drug economy where power is exercised through fear and title. Through the analysis of major scenes in the episode, I can discuss how different social systems arrange behavior and influence the values of the individuals living in the world. So in the first scene, Walt leaves a message for Holly, his unborn daughter. This was at the baby shower, and it emphasizes the significance of family rituals in the American suburban culture. Baby showers are cultural events intended to celebrate new life and offer support, present gifts, and reinforce the idea that raising a child is a social responsibility. Anthropologically, rituals like baby showers help preserve social identity and values. They remind people of what is considered important in their society. In this situation, the ritual focuses on family and expectations for the future. Walt appears emotional and sincere in this message to Holly. He speaks about wanting to leave something good behind for his daughter in case he's no longer there. Since Walt has recently been diagnosed with cancer, the message also reflects his fear of not being able to support his family. However, there's also a lot of irony in this moment. While Walt is recording this message of love, he's also entering the methamphetamine business. It is this illegal drug economy that will eventually threaten his family and transform his identity. This scene introduces the main theme of this episode. Walt believes that his criminal actions are justified because they will guarantee the future of his family. Our second scene introduces Walt and his accomplice Jesse Pinkman to Tuco Salamanca, a drug dealer who dominates the meth market in Albuquerque. From an anthropological perspective, Tuco represents a leader within a different economic system. Even though the drug trade is illegal, it still acts as a structured society with its own hierarchy and rules. Tuco is the head of this network. He controls distribution and demands loyalty from the people below him. His power is not based on legitimacy, but rather on his reputation and his ability to impose consequences. This meeting is important for Walt because it represents his first serious attempt to enter this underground economy as a producer. Up until this point, Walt and Jesse have only been small batch producers, but now they're attempting to reach a much larger distributor. Anthropologists often look at how people move between different economic systems. In this situation, Walt is leaving the legal world as a high school teacher and is entering an illegal, dangerous economy where success is determined by power and survival. This moment marks the beginning of Walt's transformation as he moves deeper into this new life as a meth cook. In our third scene, Tuco examines the meth that Walt produced. When he does this, he looks at it very closely and is almost fascinated with the quality. Anthropologically, this scene shows the concept of material culture. Material culture means physical objects that we as a society give meaning. In the world of Breaking Bad, meth isn't only a drug. Walt's meth represents expertise and financial opportunity. Tuco immediately recognizes that the product Walt is offering is different from anything else available on the market. The purity and appearance of the meth suggests that it was created by someone with hella skill. In other words, the drug becomes a representation of Walt's scientific expertise. Within the illegal drug economy, reputation is very important. Dealers want products that stand out from competitors. The blue meth that Walt produces quickly becomes known as high quality. This scene demonstrates how objects can become sources of power. Walt's meth is valuable not only as a drug, but also because it represents innovation and superior quality within the criminal market. In the fourth scene that I chose, Tuco and his accomplices meet up with Walt and Jesse for yet another drug deal. This is when one of the most disturbing moments in the Breaking Bad franchise occurs, when Tuco beats up his own associate. When his associate Nodos tried to explain that Jesse meant no disrespect when speaking to Tuco, Tuco didn't appreciate that and just up and beat the shit out of him. He took it as a challenge to his authority. Anthropologically, this demonstrates how violence can function as a form of control. In lots of societies, when there's not many formal institutions, leaders maintain power through intimidation. By beating up Nodos in front of everyone, Tuco reinforces his hierarchy. He's sending a message that loyalty must be absolute and that his authority should not be questioned. Public displays of violence are historically common when portraying power, like beheading in France. They act as warnings to others. The purpose is not only to punish one person, but to kind of make everybody obedient. This moment also reveals the instability of the drug economy. Authority in criminal organizations can be unpredictable, unlike in legitimate businesses or even governments. For Walt and Jesse, witnessing this violence reveals the reality of the world that they're coming into. The meth trade isn't easy, and it's not just about making money. It's about surviving in a system where power is maintained through fear. Scene 5. Later in the episode, Walt's DEA agent brother-in-law Hank shares an illegal Cuban cigar with him. This scene is quite ironic. Hank's job is to investigate and stop drug trafficking operations. Meanwhile, Walt is secretly becoming a drug manufacturer. Anthropologically, this moment highlights male bonding rituals. Activities such as sharing cigars, drinking alcohol, and joking together often work as social rituals that strengthen relationships between men. These rituals help build trust and friendship, particularly in environments where vulnerability isn't encouraged. The cigar itself is technically illegal in the United States due to trade restrictions with Cuba, but Hank casually breaks this minor law even when working as an officer. This moment shows how individuals can participate in small acts of rule breaking while still believing they represent law and order. It highlights the dramatic irony of the show. Hank believes Walt is always harmless and respectable, completely unaware that he's entering the criminal world he's trying to stop. In my sixth scene, I chose more of a quiet scene, and that's when Walt and his wife Skylar were laying in their bed. At first glance, they seem to just be an ordinary married couple at the end of a long workday. These types of moments demonstrate how family life should be in real life. Home is supposed to be a place where people feel secure and at ease, and emotionally attached to one another. But in Breaking Bad, the house is also a place where secrets lie. Skylar is completely unaware that Walt has begun to manufacture meth or deal with dangerous people in the drug business. This scene brings out the duality in Walt. On the surface, he remains a typical husband and father with a cancer diagnosis, but he's also constructing a criminal enterprise that might ultimately pose as a threat to his family. Anthropologists tend to be interested in the way people balance different lives. Walt is always changing between the family man and the jib cook. The conflict between these two identities turns out to be one of the primary forces that propel the whole plot of the series. In Scene 7, Walt makes an explosive called fulminated mercury. He uses his prior chemistry knowledge, and this demonstrates the power of knowledge within social hierarchies. Throughout all of history, advancements have often shifted power structures. Society with superior knowledge or inventions have gained dominance over others. In this case, Walt's chemistry knowledge allowed him to compete with dangerous figures in the drug trade, big figures. Even though he lacks the physical or criminal strength, his intelligence becomes his most powerful weapon. The explosive he creates is not just a chemical reaction, but it's a demonstration of his authority to Tuco Salamanca. Walt is showing that he can't be easily controlled or threatened by making a statement. This moment represents an important turning point in his transformation. Instead of only reacting to threats, he begins to actively use his knowledge to establish power within the criminal world.
In the last scene, scene 8, Skylar is accused of stealing a tiara that she actually received as a gift at her baby shower. From an anthropological perspective, this shows reputation and gender expectations. The suburbs, so like middle class people, are respectable and moral. People must conform and maintain a positive reputation. Skylar is embarrassed and angry when she receives this accusation, and although it's not true, it poses as a threat to her identity. The irony here is how Skylar is judged on petty matter and Walt is able to get away with bigger crimes. This shows that people trust people who appear to be good. Walt appears presentable, thus no one suspecting him. Skylar must struggle with accusation because of the misunderstanding. I didn't think I was going to add a conclusion, but it would feel wrong not to have one. So in conclusion, this episode of Breaking Bad demonstrates a fictional world that is shaped by several social systems that coexist. The suburban families value stability, responsibility, and taking care of each other. Meanwhile, the underground drug economy values power and fear, which are very different. Walter White switches between the two systems. One moment he's a husband and father involved in family rituals, but next he's dealing with dangerous criminals and cooking meth. Breaking Bad is ultimately about the way people choose between conflicting social structures and how the desire to find security and power can transform a person. Thank you.